Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Good morning. It's 9 o'clock. Board of Supervisors meeting is starting. Okay. Go ahead and start with the in-person meeting, please.
The board meeting will be open to in-person attendance. To remain in compliance with the state's public health guidance and Cal OSHA COVID-19 regulations, masks are allowed for individuals who choose to wear them. The board proceedings are available via Zoom, and you may participate in public comment by using the raise hand function. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54953, local legislative bodies may hold public meetings via teleconference. Additionally, even when members of the local legislative body are attending meetings in person, the local legislative body may make public meetings accessible telephonically or otherwise electronically to all members of the public. Members of the public are encouraged to observe and participate in the teleconference.
All right. Welcome to the Yuba County Board of Supervisors meeting. As a courtesy to others, please turn off cell phones or other electronic devices which may disrupt the meeting. If attending via Zoom, please have your microphone muted at all times that you're not speaking. All items on the agenda other than correspondence and board and staff members' reports are considered items for which the board may take action. The public will be given the opportunity to comment on action items on the agenda when the item is heard, and comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per individual group. Supervisor Messick, you want to lead the pledge?
Yes. Y'all please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Supervisor Vasquez?
Here.
Supervisor Blazer?
Here.
Supervisor Messick?
Here.
Supervisors Fuhrer and Bradford are absent.
Okay.
And through the chair, I'd like to announce that agenda item 110-2023 and county departments will be moved to be heard after agenda item 109-2023 in ordinances and public hearings.
Okay. Consent agenda. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered to be routine and can be enacted in one motion.
So moved. I'll second it.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thought I turned that down. Sorry about that. That's a ringtone.
Do as
for
I
deaf
say,
people.
not as I do, right? I said, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah. Well, that's happened before. No biggie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any comments from the public on consent agenda? All right, we have special presentations. Our first presentation is CSAC, California State Association of Counties, to present CSAC 2022 Challenge Award to Yuba. Yes, to Yuba. Mike Lee?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Chastity Benson, and I am the Chief Operating Officer for the California State Association of Counties, also known as CSAC. Thank you, Chair Vasquez, for allowing me to join the board and staff here today. I also want to thank Supervisor Blazer for serving as Yuba County's representative on the CSAC Board of Directors. Before I get started with the award, I'd like to share a little bit about CSAC and how we strive to connect and assist all 58 counties. We've been around since 1896. And we advocate at the state and federal levels for the interests of all counties, regardless of size and demographics. We also offer several programs and services for counties, including programs to save counties monies like CalTrust, business opportunities through our finance corporation, and cutting-edge professional development opportunities through our California Counties Foundation and CSAC Institute for Excellence in County Government. I want to quickly highlight our newest program for counties, the CSAC Grants Initiative, which provides all counties with no cost and tailored help in identifying and pulling down federal, state, and foundation grant funding. We have a free weekly grants newsletter and a suite of services that our county can access to meet your exact needs. You can visit our website under the CGI program to sign up for the newsletter and to get more information. So back to the Challenge Awards, the fun part. Our Challenge Awards program was developed more than 20 years ago to spotlight the most innovative and effective programs developed by California's 58 counties. In 2022, the CSAC received more than 300 award entries and only awarded 18 Challenge Awards. The bar was high, but our judging panel quickly identified Yuba County's Yes to Yuba Enterprise Solutions Program as worthy of this prestigious award. The county's Yes to Yuba program was born out of the early days of the pandemic, when the county was seeking solutions to help businesses stay afloat in the teetering economy. After county staff heard loud and clear from the community on the need to better support and attract local businesses, the county created a single point of contact for businesses with Yes to Yuba. Yes to Yuba brought together the county's planning, building, public works, and environmental health departments to hasten and streamline the process for starting a new business. Additionally, the Yes to Yuba program manager works directly with businesses to ensure continuity between internal county departments while also providing warm introductions to their community partners and resources. This created a culture of partnership within the county and its customers and improved efficiency for both county staff and business owners. Yes to Yuba is a reinvention of the traditional economic development program paradigm and has seen tremendous momentum in the past 2 years. Yes to Yuba provided more than 55 early project consultations and connected more than 25 businesses directly to one-on-one business advising. Perhaps the most significant achievement of Yes to Yuba to date is the public-private redevelopment of Yuba County's prime commercial corridor in Linda. Through early engagement with property ownership and a concierge level of service for development team, Yuba County attracted a 160,000 square foot large format retailer to a site that had lain fallow for more than 30 years. Yes to Yuba also works with special districts to provide significant development impact fee credits and has created a neighborhood business facade improvement grant program and prioritize adjacent infrastructure projects. That is amazing for an initiative that has only been around for 2 years. It is my pleasure to present a 2022 CSAC Challenge Award to Yuba County's Yes to Yuba program today. And CSAC and counties applaud Yuba County for the success of the program and the county staff who strive to make doing business in Yuba as easy as possible. Congratulations.
You want to bring the group up, Mike?
If I could have a minute.
Sure.
So first of all, thank you very much this morning. CSAC is an amazing organization, and we're thrilled to be honored to receive this award. So Yes to Yuba is not only a movement, but it is a mindset. It not only provides outwardly facing benefits to businesses and constituents, but internally creates a highly customer service oriented mindset that helps unify the agency, solidify teamwork, and embody the family that we are. We are thrilled that CSAC recognizes the value and merit of Yes to Yuba and happy to receive this award. And if I may, I would also like to call up some of the department heads and managers this morning. But I'd also like to mention that it's not, managers, department heads come up to be acknowledged this, but really it's the whole department, the whole team that creates this movement and success. So Rachel Downs. Rachel is our business engagement manager and kind of the tip of the spear on the Yes to Yuba movement. And I also like to acknowledge a couple other managers who were kind of the original part of the Yes to Yuba group. Melanie Marquez, our business, finance and admin manager, and Jason Topping, our airport manager. There's the OG. And then also Dan Peterson, our public works director. Kevin Perkins, assistant community development. Jeremy Strang, building and code enforcement manager. Clark Patel, environmental health director. Again, I'd like to reiterate that this is the management team here, but it's a county-wide and department-wide movement. And again, we're super excited for this. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mike, can I ask you a question? Yeah. How many are in organizations like this are there in California? Because I don't know of any.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's economic development departments and that.
Yeah,
so on
nothing
so
like nothing close to this.
Yeah, this is kind of a unique, one of a kind type movement.
The premier program in the state, for sure.
So, Russ, can we do a picture?
All right, we're gonna get the supervisors up here. We're gonna have to get an area density. Doing all this stuff. Yeah. He brings things. All right, we're gonna rearrange the schedule here. We've got a big law enforcement crowd back there. We're gonna Eric, you're on. No petting the dogs.
Good morning, Chair and Board. Eric Runge, Yuba County Victim Services. So we're here today to ask the Board to adopt a resolution declaring April 23rd through April 29th, 2023 as Crime Victims' Rights Week, and allow the Probation Department Victim Services Unit to honor some of our local law enforcement, some out of our District Attorney's Office, community partner agencies, and community members for outstanding service to crime victims of Yuba County. We want to let you guys know that we're commemorating 38 years of victim services in Yuba County through the Probation Department. And we would like to reaffirm the Board's recommendation for the Probation Department to continue to allow Victim Services Unit to run through their department. Again, we appreciate the fact that the Board supports probation, allowing Victim Services to do their thing. I want to let you guys know that we celebrated our 32nd annual Candlelight Vigil. After 3 years of being shut down by COVID restrictions and not being able to do it in person, we were actually able to hold it Sunday night here in the Board of Supervisors chambers. And it was an excellent showing of strength among survivors of victims who experienced homicide. It was very emotional, but it was very well received and definitely needed for our victims and their families and friends to celebrate and remember the victims. So with that said, we're going to get on with the awards piece. And then after that, if Chair would allow us to vote on the resolution, that would be great. So with that said, we're going to get on with some awards. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous, but this is a long time coming. So first, we want to recognize Russ Brown. Hey, Russ. So each and every time that we need a little bit of publicity or to get on camera or something like that, Russ is the man. Russ is the guy who gets us there. He gets us a 93Q showing. He gets us there, takes care of us. He helped us over the last 3 years do our candlelight vigil through Facebook. So with that said, Russ, you deserve every bit of this, and I wish I could give you a raise.
You have a photo. You have photos outside.
We do have our photos outside, and each one of those photos is one of our victims of homicide. And some of them are Sutter County, most of them are Yuba County. But some way, somehow, we dealt with those individuals and their families and friends through their process. But yeah, those pictures will stay up all this week and all next week before they come down. The next person we want to recognize is Paula Gomes. I don't think Paula's here, but Paula Gomes puts together our candlelight vigil video, and it shows during our candlelight of all the victims, and it has their name on it. And it's very emotional to see because in these pictures, 100% of the time, these people are happy and smiling. And then you see their picture and realize that they're gone. So very touching. So we want to thank Paula Gomes for her effort in that. Next, we want to recognize Caitlin Smith, one of our deputy district attorneys. Is Caitlin here? I think Shiloh Sobrello is here, our assistant deputy DA, to accept the award for Caitlin. She's in trial. How are we doing, Shiloh? Doing well. Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for taking the time. So Caitlin hasn't been with the DA's office for many years, but she has made a huge impact on victims of Yuba County. She's very compassionate and understands while working with victims and survivors. She goes out of her way to meet with our clients if they request a meeting. She goes over the criminal justice system in a way that is understanding to a person that has never been involved with the system. Caitlin's always ready to make a phone call, ask about meetings with victims and survivors to see how she can help with navigating this very frustrating judicial system sometimes. We at Victim Services appreciate Caitlin and how she handles our clients with tender, loving care. Next, in-house, Veronica, come on up. Good morning. Guys, this is Veronica. Veronica Rodriguez. She's a probation aide with Yuba County Probation. This young lady's super passionate about what she does and how she does it. So here's what one of my staff members said about you. Veronica this year is our recipient from our probation department. Our staff picked her for this year for her genuine compassion and dedication to our clients. She has offered to assist us when needed and helps with coordinating events that help provide resources to our community. Her positive attitude, and when I say positive, I mean positive attitude, makes it easy for people to talk to her. She cares about our community and the clients we serve. She's one of those behind the scene type of people who doesn't need acknowledgement. Sorry. But definitely deserves to be recognized for her efforts of putting our clients and our community first. And she does do that. So this next guy I picked, so you know it's important. Tyler, Officer Littlefield, can you come up? So I work with this guy in several different capacities. So we sat on the SAR board together. I've seen him out in the field on patrol. And we've made a connection, but I've seen this guy in action, and it definitely touched me in one incident where he had a tough time with, but that just shows his compassion and his dedication to what he does. So I have the privilege of working with this officer in many capacities and have come to respect this officer for his heart, his bravery, and his morals. Officer Littlefield works as a school resource officer, sits on the student attendance review board, and works patrol. Responds to my office when his victim services friends need him. Officer Littlefield cares about his community and the people he works with. He makes the tough decisions when they present themselves, and he has handled some of very heart-wrenching moments with courage and professionalism. This is why we selected Marysville Police Officer Tyler Littlefield as one of our National Victims' Rights Week's honoree. Now, this next group is certainly well-deserving of this award. So can we have our Yuba County Sheriff dispatchers come on up?
Rest of them.
So we have a few here. As you know, dispatch does not get to shut down or close for the day or the hour or the minute. They are needed all the time. Matter of fact, I think Yuba County dispatchers assisted Sutter County with providing some of that service when they needed it. So today we have Rachel Ayatt, Chelsea Hart, Arizona Holly, Maria Martinez, Kimberly Moa, Rachel Nauman, Ashley Paloma, Haley Reed Kahn, Angela Tarwater, Lacey Younger, and Lindsay Devereaux. So these ladies impact the community, don't ever get to be seen, but here's what we said about them. We wish to nominate the entire dispatch staff at Yuba County SO for their dedicated service to the people of Yuba County. We all understand that is their job, but what these folks have to deal with on a call-to-call basis is extraordinary. They are true heroes. We personally have had to call them for assistance with clients who are afraid to walk into the sheriff department for a variety of reasons, and they quickly send over a deputy to speak with them so that they feel comfortable. We also have had some crisis incidents that require swift action. Again, they quickly provide us with deputies that respond and control the situation. Thank you for being the ears behind the scenes, the heart behind the voice, and the calm during the storm. Hey, give another round of applause for these ladies. Next is our very own, and I think I got some ugly side eye from her because she didn't know that this was happening. So Shelly, come on up. Hi, Shelly.
Hi.
There's witnesses. Don't stand so close to me, please. So Shelly's our newest, not really, she's an oldie, employee because she's been with us for approximately 7 years as a volunteer, then extra help, and finally last year, due to Measure K, we were able to get her on full time. She has conquered many tasks thrown at her and done them well. She continues to learn and is determined to know all the facts so that she can advocate for her clients to the best of her ability. She is a team player, always helps when needed, without hesitation. We are all happy to have her on our team and look forward to growing old with her at Victim Services. Shelly, thank you for everything you do. We appreciate it. So if I could have Officer Weckman from California Highway Patrol, Sergeant Watson, from Yuba County SO, and Deputy Young, come on up, please. So this is long overdue. So Yuba County Victim Services decided to award these gentlemen for a brave act that they did over a year ago. But the governor got to them first. So Officer Weckman has been honored by the governor for this incident that they were involved in. But all three of these gentlemen responded with bravery, heart, and compassion, and placed themselves in danger to save another life. So on December 6, 2021, Officer Weckman responded to a call of an abandoned vehicle where witnesses heard screams. Officer Weckman was the first one to arrive and found an individual not in her right mind trying to drown a 4-year-old child in a canal that was at least 5 feet deep, full of water, and talking of the devil. Without hesitation, Officer Weckman jumped into the water, blindly felt around for the victim, clutched in the individual's arms. Once he was able to pull the child away, the fight was on. While trying to get to the bank and out of the water, Officer Weckman fights off the individual while she grabs for his gun and pulls at both he and the child. Sergeant Watson and Deputy Young arrived to assist a fellow officer and jump into the scene to secure the child. Without hesitation, Officer Weckman was still engaged with the individual who seemed to have superhuman strength at the time. Both he and Sergeant Watson were finally able to subdue the individual while Deputy Young tended to a fearful and crying 4-year-old who they didn't know was going to survive. Ladies and gentlemen, before you today are 3 true hometown heroes who saved a child's life. So, gentlemen, we also have another little surprise. You have maybe met the 4-year-old who you guys saved, but you haven't met his dad yet. So we would like to bring them both up right now for you. Ladies and gentlemen, this little 4-year-old is not 4 years old anymore, and this is Layson. I know you're 5, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I introduce to you true hometown heroes. Leslie Collins. Is she here today? Hi, Leslie. Come on up. So, good morning, Leslie. So, Leslie is part of the Brownsville Lutheran Church Mountain Quilt Guild. In front here, we have quilts that these ladies put together for us that we are able to give to our victims from our office. A lot of times some people think that, it's a blanket. But when these little kids or these young ladies or even some of the men get a blanket to clutch as they're going through a difficult time, it actually means something that we probably don't understand. So with that said, I want to thank Leslie and her crew, the wonderful Quilt Guild ladies, for their time and effort that they put and their thoughtfulness that they give to Yuba County. That said, you want me to read the resolution? All right. Resolution proclaiming April 23rd through April 29, 2013 as National Crime Victims' Rights Week. Whereas National Crime Victims' Rights Week was declared in 1984 to focus on the need of our nation's crime victims. And whereas this commemoration of National Crime Victims' Rights Week provides a national opportunity to reflect on the devastating impact of crimes on victims, not only locally, but on our entire nation, to strengthen our national resolve to ensure that needs of victims are identified and addressed. And whereas the national theme for the National Crime Victims' Rights Week is to elevate, engage, and affect change. And Yuba County Victim Services has adopted this theme as their guiding force this year. And whereas we as individuals and communities recognize that justice isn't served until crime victims are afforded justice through the courts and their constitutional rights they are afforded in California are fully realized, and this department strives to inform and enforce all rights. And whereas, as we continue in the future, we are committed to creating a world where the legal and constitutional rights of victims are honored and that public agencies are accountable for their treatment of victims of crime. And whereas the Yuba County Victim Services is now entering its 38th year of service to victims of crimes in Marysville and Yuba County area, celebrating the 32nd annual Candlelight Vigil. And whereas Yuba County would like to honor all victims of crimes by remembering these lost to senseless acts of violence, and remember that every victim is a survivor who deserves the opportunity to be treated with dignity, fairness, and respect. Yuba County Victim Services strives to ensure that all victims are afforded and understand their constitutional rights through the Marsy's Law. And whereas the Victim Services Program would like to recognize Officer Tyler Littlefield, Marysville Police Department, Deputy District Attorney Caitlin Smith, Yuba County District Attorney's Office, Probation Aide Veronica Rodriguez, Yuba County Probation, Yuba County Sheriff Dispatchers Rachel Lyatt, Chelsea Hart, Arizona Holly, Maria Martinez, Kimberly Moa, Rachel Nauman, Ashley Paloma, Haley Reed Kahn, Angela Tarwater, Lacey Younger, and Lindsay Devereaux, and Victim Services Advocate Shelley Gage. Yuba County Probation for their tireless efforts in serving our victims and their families of Yuba County. And whereas the Victim Services Program would like to recognize and honor Deputy Chad Watson and Deputy Justin Young from the Yuba County Sheriff Department and Officer Kenneth Weckman of the California Highway Patrol for their bravery and efforts in saving the life of a child in 2021. And whereas the Board of Supervisors recognizes its foresight and resolve to locate the County Victim Services Program in the County Probation Department with the overarching goal of providing prevention, intervention, and treatment for crime victims in Yuba County. And whereas Yuba County Victim Services is joining forces with law enforcement agencies, criminal justice officials, and concerned citizens throughout Yuba County, California, and all of the United States of America to observe National Crime Victims' Rights Week.
All right.
Therefore, be it resolved that Yuba County proclaim the week of 23rd through April 29th, 2023, be Yuba County, California Crime Victims' Rights Week, and honor crime victims and those who served them during this week and throughout the year. And be it further resolved that as an individual and a community, we value justice in America that includes and involves crime victims and seek to serve justice by serving victims of crimes.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? I'll bring it back to the board.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion.
Second.
And we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes. Thank
Chair,
you very much.
and board, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think we're going to get back on schedule here. Certificate of recognition for Yuba County Public Guardian. Karen? Is Karen here? Okay. All right. Put you on that mic there. You might want to say something at some point in time. All right. Board of Supervisors Certificate of Recognition presented to the Yuba County Public Guardian and staff for their commitment to the trust, safety, support, and well-being of citizens of the Yuba County, April 25th, 2023. Thank you very much. People don't know what you do, and you're the last best hope for a lot of people. You meet people at their worst time in life, and we'd like to thank you for your hard work and effort, making sure that they have a better place to live. All right. Hopefully you're going to do a presentation for us. Is that correct? Not here. Oh. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you for the acknowledgement and the recognition to the Public Guardians Department. This is our entire department, actually. Yes. So we're a very small department, and we are court appointed by the Superior Court for individuals that cannot provide for themselves due to a severe mental illness or a medical condition or undue influence. And we love what we do. Thank you.
We're going to invite Karen back for a more detailed description of what she does. But thank you very much, Karen. All right. Next is to receive an update from First Five Commission. Here's about all the little kids.
All right. I just got to figure this out now, I think.
Okay.
And collect myself after that, man. I have my makeup's all messed up. And oh gosh.
Pretty impressive county for 80,000 people.
You'll help me if I need, right?
There we go.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you to the board for allowing me to come and speak on behalf of the First Five Yuba County Children and Families Commission. My name is Erica Summers. I'm the executive director. So first, a little bit of history, which probably a lot of you know, but some of you may not. First Five was created as California voters passed the Children and Families Act in November of 1998, which added a 50-cent tax on cigarettes and other tobacco products, in which those revenues went to local counties to establish First Fives in all 58 counties. The purpose of the act was to support and improve early development of children prenatal through age 5. to establish local entities to facilitate and be a convener of integrated cross-systems development to ensure children were ready to enter school and thrive. It gave local entities local decision-making power to ensure that our families here in Yuba County were being served to the best of our ability, and ensure that we're meeting our local needs. And all the uniqueness of First Five is that we serve all children in Yuba County, and it's not tied to any eligibility. So why invest in children 0 to 5? Well, why would tobacco tax dollars go to 0 to 5? A child's most important developmental years occurs during the first 5 years of life. During this critical time, 80% of a child's brain is developed before age 5, or before age 3, excuse me, and 90% before age 5. These are crucial years in the building blocks of a child's future. Starting from birth, brain connections are built through a child's everyday experiences. By positive interactions with their parents and caregivers, it is a child's daily experiences, the amount of quality care, stimulation, interaction that they receive prenatally through their first days, weeks, months, and years in life that determines which brain connections develop and will last for a lifetime. Investing in the 0 to 5 is an upstream approach. Through high quality learning environments, supportive, responsive relationships with caregiving adults early in life can possibly prevent or reverse the damaging effects of toxic stress, ACEs, or adverse childhood experiences and cycles of poverty. Children thrive in environments where they feel safe, stable, and bonded to their family. So quickly, here is our vision and mission. Here locally is all Yuba County children are healthy and thriving in safe, nurturing family environments and ready to succeed in their educational experiences. And our mission is that First Five Yuba will strategically support the use of community resources to enhance the development and well-being of children 0 through 5 and their families. So the First Five, or Proposition 10 tobacco tax dollars have to be invested for specific purposes, and those are outlined here. And our 3 local strategic goals. Counties have to make prudent financial decisions to ensure that these tax dollars are invested to target populations and integrated with the largest system of delivery services. Every 5 years, with input from local leaders, key stakeholders, and more importantly, the diverse families that we serve, input helps develop our strategic plan, which then guides our programming and investments. Strategic plans are data informed and provide a framework for how interventions are measured, evaluated to ensure that we meet the needs of our families locally. So within that framework, I'm just going to quickly go over some of the services and programs that we provide here in the community. Stop me if you like. I'll try to go quickly because I don't want to take too much of your time. But and within our Resilient Families framework, we provide home visitation and support for special needs families, behavioral consultation, and all of these services are bilingual. We provide parent education classes on child development, positive discipline models, maternal mental health, and other health topics like second and third hand smoke education. We have peer support groups. We know that when families are connected and have a village of support systems, that they are more successful. So a lot of our programs just center around that family connectedness. And so these are just a few that we have here. Currently our Dad Side Out, our Stepping with Baby program, quality early learning. So one of the other investments that we work on specifically is family literacy. A child that is read to daily will enter school knowing 1,000 more words than a child who is not. First Five partners and invests in our local library to provide local story times and activities for children and families. They also provide workshops for families at the library too. We invest in Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, which is a program, one of our easiest and most successful programs here in the county, where children from birth through age 5 will receive a book delivered directly to their house every month, which will help increase literacy and reading and family bonding. In addition to that, we have 9 little free libraries, which expands literacy in our county. As you well know, we only have 1 library in the entire county, and so this helps us to expand those literacy efforts. Our school readiness programs provide parent-child interaction with a facilitator that supports child development, and these are on 5 sites and happen on our school campuses in Camptonville, at Yes Charter, both in the foothills, and at other sites at MJUSD. And it also helps to support those families and children's transition into state preschools, TK, and then into kindergarten as well. Playgroups, which also support healthy development of child. It's also a child parent and facilitator interaction to support the family in understanding their child's development. Quality early learning. So First Five actually also hosts and provides many professional development trainings. We, just for example, over this last year, we provided 15 trainings for early educators, including bilingual trainings where we train, early educators means could be grandparents, home child care providers, state preschool staff, or any preschool staff, center-based staff, anyone caring for caring for young children, in which we just last year trained over 100 early educators. We provide professional learning communities for different sectors and targeted sectors like home visitors or our family resource center staff, in which we bring in different topics and support them in being able to interact with families. And then just this last year also, we host local conferences. Just this last year, we hosted a 2-day in-person training on the neuroscience of engagement with families. And we brought in cross-sector agencies and partners, including those from education, probation, social services, home visiting, and many more. Health and development. One of our core programs and the First Five Yuba is our, and things that we strive to do is our developmental and social emotional screenings. We know that children that are provided services in early intervention are more likely to succeed. And so we do developmental screenings, and we provide referrals and navigation for those families to ensure that they're receiving the services that they need, such as like speech, Alta, if they need special needs services, things like that. Health and wellness. We do a lot around health and wellness, including social emotional wellness, special needs programs, water safety. The Happy Tooth Mobile, or the mobile dental van, is the only pediatric dental cal provider in Yuba County. And that's a joint venture between Peachtree Health, First Five, and MJUSD. And then also, of course, our tobacco reduction efforts, in which we provide support to entities to ensure we're doing screening and comprehensive systems around tobacco cessation and referrals. So strong systems. While we do provide a lot of direct services out of our office, one of the major things we do is systems work. We work at both a local and a state level, advocating for policy and systems change to better support our families. As a trusted leader, convener, and expert in early childhood, we work collaboratively with cross-sector agencies to align initiatives, streamline services, and create overall systems change to better serve our community. And we could obviously not do it without me mentioning these are our major strategic funded partners that you see here. Those not included are some of our many grant partners, which include a wide range also in healthcare, recreation clubs, United Ways, things like that. So what is the reach? I mean, these are just a few numbers here, and this is just widgets, right? This is not qualitative information. It really doesn't tell you about how the families feel or interact with the services we provide, but quickly, just last year, we served almost 6,000 children, 4,600 caregivers, and invested $1.2 million to direct programs and services in all 5 districts. So, one of the things I wanted to bring to you today, importantly, was some of our new local initiatives. First and foremost, our Blue Shift project of Yuba-Sutter, which is a bi-county collaborative which was recently established. And the group works to bring awareness around the epidemic of perinatal mood and anxiety disorder, or also known as postpartum depression. Postpartum depression is the #1 complication of childbirth, yet only 15% of women ever receive treatment. Locally, nearly 1 in 4 women will experience some sort of perinatal mood and anxiety disorder. However, locally, as I'm sure you are aware, mental health services are lacking. And furthermore, specialty mental health services are lacking. And so this group works and advocates to spread awareness and help close that gap in services. Our Dad's Night Out is a new initiative also. It was actually brought to our attention by partners, our parent leaders, some of which are here today, that expressed the need for fathers to connect in that support group as well. This started just last summer and it was highly successful. And it remains to be successful with our partnerships for Yuba County Office of Education, Probation, and Youth for Change. Lastly, our parent leadership program or project. Earlier, I expressed the importance of parent voice, but also we believe that by investing in parents as local leaders, we are building local capacity to reach more families, advocate for families, and invest in early childhood pipeline and workforce. So I'd like to briefly, and bear with me as I transition to this quick video. Let's see if this works. Okay, I just share again, right? Oh, it didn't. Share. So before I start this briefly, our new parent leadership project and engagement program recently began, and we have an association of all First Fives, and they did some research and looked at what we were doing here locally. And in February at our annual summit, they chose to highlight the work that we were doing in Yuba County around parent engagement and local leadership efforts. And this short clip video right here is what was shown to all state agencies about the work that we're doing here locally. And I'd like to acknowledge some of which our parent leaders are right here in the audience with you. And they're doing amazing work. Share. You guys see that? The video now? Yes. There we go.
I'll highlight first a little bit about the roles that I have had the opportunity to play in First Five just in the last couple of years, and later we'll talk more about earlier. But currently, recently, I have had the opportunity to be on the panel for guiding our strategic plan and funding for the next 5 years. That was a great opportunity to collaborate with the other leaders in First Five and really see where that funding goes and how to help families to the best of our ability. I have also been going to school.
Can we turn that up?
I am in my last semester of my bachelor's degree and now have the opportunity to work right along with First Five as an intern. And that has just been a full circle great blessing to me. And now being able to really see from the other side of the coin what goes on in the office, how programs are handled, the preparation that goes into, like what Stella was talking about, the community activities and the resources that are brought to parents during those activities and the activities that children are able to do during those larger events. So it's really come full circle for me. I am so grateful for my local First Five being a huge resource to me. And each of the staff here, they are all ladies, being able to really support me. And I have always known, even from the very first day when I stepped in the door and wanted to learn how to fill out the mini grant form, that they were here to help me and able to lead me in the direction that was beneficial for me at that time. And that continues to be the case. Every time I walk in this door, I just feel like I am valued and that what I have to say and what I have to do is important.
been fulfilling. I am honestly honored to be part of this, something bigger than me. And when you spread the word and somebody shows up and they start getting those resources and they become part of it, it's really fulfilling. And, you know, it makes you want to do, like, to see them getting the resources that are helping me raise my children, and they can get those too. And they not only that, but they get to tell others too. So I tell one person, that person go tell two more, those two more go tell two more. It's pretty fulfilling.
All right. I'm good? Okay. Can you hear me? We new share real quick. So thank you for indulging me in watching that the first time. I didn't have anything to do with those interviews or anything, and the first time I was able to view it was at our conference, and I felt it made me cry. I felt really good about the work that we were doing. Okay. So those are some of our new local initiatives and projects that I wanted to talk to you about today. But next, what the future holds for First Five. While we were doing this amazing work that I just talked about, we are often faced with our biggest threat, which is our declining revenues. While year after year, First Five see a downward trend in smoking, which means a downward trend in our resources. However, just recently combined with the passage of Proposition 31, which is the flavors ban on tobacco in California, First Fives are now struggling to meet the needs, the continued rising needs of children and families, especially coming out of COVID. Beginning just this last January, First Fives will see a 25% revenue decline over the next 18 months. Our local First Five is struggling to find ways to ensure programs are sustained and families' needs are being met. In 2020, for the first time, First Five began to bring in additional revenues and grant funding to strategically braid resources and ensure families continued to be served. Annually, so on an annual basis, since 2020, First Five brings in an additional $1.2 million. Sorry, that's not it. Yes. Over what has brought in an additional $1.2 million. However, unlike the uniqueness of Proposition 10 funding, like I talked about early, we lose that local control of those dollars and who we can reach and what we can do with them. Often grant funds are tied to eligibility, you have to fit inside this box, and as you well know, are not necessarily sustainable. Children need a voice now more than ever. It is imperative that as a community, we show up for our children and be their advocate in order to continue improving the physical, social, emotional, developmental, and development of our children, infancy through childhood. I would like to challenge the board today to think about a return on investment. When we think about the future of this county, think about primary prevention. When we think about social issues like mental health, substance abuse, homelessness, we need to consider upstream interventions. Healthy, successful children mean thriving communities and economic stability. Just yesterday, I was in a work group to review our county's current strategic plan, mission, and vision. And when I was in that work group, looking at our current mission, 3 words really resonated with me in our mission, and is responsive, innovative, and sustainable services. So when I think about First Five, I can without a doubt say that First Five is upholding the county's mission. But to continue to do that, I'm asking for the board's support to collaboratively help us continue to strategize ways to align agendas, networks, and leverage resources to support early childhood investments to create sustainable systems of services for our youngest residents. And I cannot, First Five, I believe personally, is super successful. We are a trusted resource and we are a trusted partner in the community. but we could not do that without the amazing team of women behind me. Robin, Rita, Sarah, and Carmen, along with our parent ambassadors here today. They are passionate, dedicated, and they really are what makes this program successful in our community. So thank you, ladies, and thank you to the board for having me today.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Any questions from the board?
I don't have a question, but it was a great presentation. It helped me a lot to further understand all the different services that you provide. No idea. What is the size of your staff now, and what was the optimum size?
So I've been in this position about 4.5 years, and when I came on board, the staff, the team was 2.5, a part-time half, and now we are 5 full-time staff.
You do a lot for 5.
I think we do too.
All right, thank you.
I have a question. There's a reading gap in the California school system, and it's I don't know how we can address that to provide the training necessary for the kids in school to read at grade level. We're 54th and 45th in the nation as far as reading. And is there any way that we could provide or could work with a library and help some of these kids along the way? Because when you graduate kids from high school and they read at a 5th grade level, you're sentencing them to a life of poverty. And I just think that as creative as we are at Yuba County, that we would find a way to help some of those children who fall through the cracks, because there is no programs that I know of in Marysville Joint Unified School District to address those problems. It's been a known fact. We've been 45th for a long time, and we used to be number 1 back in the 60s, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for a presentation. It shows you a lot of hard work being done in First Five as normally. And
yeah, absolutely. And I think literacy and reading is key as early as possible from pregnancy on. As we all know, reading and literacy is an indicator of school success, right? Meaning that 3rd grade mark, and then high school success, which is why we support our families, and we currently do work with the library to integrate workshops in literacy and story times, and then our Imagination Library program. Obviously, just having the research shows that having books in your home increases the child's ability to read better when they enter school.
How do you think we could reach more children? It's an interesting question. We'll sit down and talk about that sometime. Sure. If that's all possible.
Help us. You can help us by advertising or sharing our Imagination Library program just through social media. That's how we get. Currently, we have about 35% of our 0 to 5 population registered in our Imagination Library program, which is pretty big. So.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can expand that.
Absolutely.
All right. Great. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
A lot of hard work to put that presentation together and to do what you do with a smile on your face.
Thank you so much to the board.
Thank you. All right, I think we're into public communication next. Is that correct?
Yep.
Any person may speak about any subject of concern provided it is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors and is not already on today's agenda. The total amount of time allotted for receiving such public communication shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each individual or group will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Prior to this time, speakers are requested to fill out a request to speak card and submit it to the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. If you're participating via Zoom and wish to comment, please use the raise hand function or *9 if participating on a phone. Please note, no board action can be taken on comment. And through the chair, we have 1 card and no hands raised on Zoom. The first card is Tony Farley.
Yeah. I'm 25 from the South Yuba City, South County. Here to thank the first bonder, CHP, the big tall guy. Governor Gavin Newsom got him first. The medal honor by Gavin Newsom in Sacramento. Thank you, and also Yuba County Sheriff Department mutually the CHP for against a crazy man pulling a baby in the water, a drainage ditch. That's bad. So thank Yuba County, CHP, the dispatchers for being true heroes. Matter of fact, May is Police Week, and I'll be there at the memorial. Thank you, Board of Supervisors. Thank you, the County Administrator. Thank you, the County Council. We need more lawyers. Lawyers are heroes too, like the dispatchers and the first responders. We need more good people in the government. I'm positive. Say positive is positive day. Awards from the governor, the county, the state, maybe the federal government, maybe not bad marriage marshals. Thank you for your service. Appreciate it. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Russ. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. All right. We'll go to county departments. The first item is Yuba-Sutter Economic Development. Adopt a resolution approving the 2020 Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy.
Good morning, Chair and Supervisors. Brenda Stranix with the Yuba-Sutter Economic Development Corporation. And annually, we come before you to present the updates to the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy. I want to introduce my colleague, Cynthia Roderick, who does the lion's share of the work. And I also want to thank the CDSA for their participation in this project because it's massive and they are integral to it. So Cynthia will present the update and then we'll wrap it up with questions if you have them.
Do we have any documentation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do I access that somehow?
The presentation?
We edit, did we? There you go, back up.
Okay, I think we got it now. I'm Cynthia Roderick, and as Brenda mentioned, I am the CEDS Committee Chair. CEDS stands for Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, and it's a regional effort to and collaborative effort and local planning process to move economic development through the Yuba-Sutter region. It's a process that helps create jobs, foster a more stable and diverse economy, improve living conditions, and it provides a mechanism for coordinating the efforts of individuals, organizations, local governments, and private industries concerned with economic development. And the annual CEDS performance evaluation is required by the U.S. Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration Assistance administration so that we can get federal assistance or funding assistance for public works, economic adjustment, and most planning programs. And the evaluation document, which I believe you all had a chance to review, represents the goals and objectives that we have set forth in the Yuba-Sutter region and the 2 counties and the cities of Marysville, Live Oak, Wheatland, and the city of Yuba City. You said the up down arrows, right?
It's on here.
Oh, there we go. I got it. Sorry about that. Okay, the vision is to foster a vibrant, prosperous, growing Yuba-Sutter region through exceptional leadership, and it involves the whole community of our region. And I just wanted to go through some highlights of our evaluation or our regional evaluation. So we did have a slight employment growth of 0.7%. Unfortunately, we did have a labor reduction in 2022, and that's probably due to the fact just the tail end of the pandemic. People had not quite come back or realized that it's time to go back to work. Our unemployment did drop from 10.2 to 6.07, a 30% decrease. And our annual wages did go up by 5.6% for our region. Poverty levels are dropping in our region. We went from 15.5 in 21 to 14%. So we're almost reaching the national levels. Median household income did have a 5.2% increase. Again, we're closing the gap between the nation and ourselves. And we had in 2021, we had a substantial growth in our gross domestic product of 9.74%. So in spite of the pandemic or the height of the pandemic, we did very well that way. We're still struggling with education levels. 19.11% of our school population is not receiving. So, and it's trending slightly upwards. We had 17.7. I'm not sure if that was a result of the pandemic and at home learning. Next year, we might see a change to the better that way. High school graduation stayed about stable. College degrees did drop. Associate degree did drop. And bachelor's degrees also did drop. And again, it wasn't substantial drops, but again, I'm thinking that it's maybe because we had that distant learning. Strangely enough, though, we had more postgraduates, so we had a slight increase. But if you review what the national levels are, we're still struggling quite a bit in terms of education achievement or attainment. So regionally, there's some goals that, in Yuba County, we had several goals that were successfully completed or achieved. I'm sure you're all well aware of it, that Hard Rock Casino, Sacramento completed and opened up all of their phase 2 construction projects. And it was estimated that this would create 75 jobs. Costco, you all know that's coming in, and it's anticipated that there'll be 175 job creation there. And goal 3, to improve and modernize infrastructure. And the Yuba River North Training Wall Phase 1 was completed. That was a $3 million investment. Yuba Goldfields 200 levee project had been completed. That was a $54 million investment in our in Yuba County. Three Rivers Parkway System Development, Phase 1. There was 20 miles of trails on Feather River completed and an investment of $8.5 million. Iowa City Bridge replacement as part of several bridges that will be completed or replaced of a $2.2 million investment. And then the Yuba County Airport taxiway project was completed, and that was a $1.8 million investment. So there was quite a few projects completed this year in Yuba County. It's very, very vibrant and moving forward. In terms of Caltrans invested, has 34 projects slated for our region. There was 5 projects completed in 2022, and it was represents a $144.8 million investment in the Yuba-Sutter region. Northville Road Complete Streets Phase 2 was completed, and $8.2 million investment. And McGowan Parkway project is currently under construction and should be completed this spring. So this is a little outdated, but hopefully that we're still in spring and not jumping into summer. Other notable goals, transit planning and housing development. So Cedar Lane side. Housing, 41 units were completed. The family apartments, which is a 108 unit, was near completion. I believe it's almost completed now. River Oaks Plumas Lake, 48 unit multifamily project targeting low income families. Construction's beginning in 2023. Prosperity Village has 61 units and is completed and fully occupied now. Innovation Housing Center is a 13 unit housing, which is in the design phase. And Serenity Village, 124 units, affordable housing, is to begin construction this year. So we're moving forward in terms of housing. Goal 4, to foster overall quality of life. 14 Forward project, which is now under the management of Salvation Army Yuba-Sutter Corps. All interiors of the 25 structures were upgraded to include new flooring, new insulation, and new walls. And the facility served 163 people, homeless individuals, and provided 10,000 shelter nights. And then, just because we're closing out on the pandemic, there's still some pandemic-related capital infusion. Excuse me. So the California Relief Grant Program is winding down now. There was 235 businesses assisted in Yuba County, 115 in Marysville, 14 in Wheatland, and 15 nonprofit organizations. So that was almost $2.5 million were invested, or businesses or nonprofits received in funding from the relief program. And then Yuba County did a micro business grant relief program, and there was 32 micro businesses funded $80,000, and 21 were from the city of Marysville. So that essentially completes my short presentation. If you had any questions, we would certainly entertain them, or comments you'd like to make.
If I could, through the chair, Brenda or Cynthia, it might be good to educate the board on, I mean, there's the comprehensive economic development strategy is a work product that takes all of the jurisdictions in the Yuba-Sutter region and includes Caltrans too, and kind of compiles it all in one lengthy document, but just maybe kind of outlining that process for the board as a reminder.
Sure, thank you. The comprehensive economic development strategy for the Yuba-Sutter region is managed by the Economic Development Corporation. It is a document that is required by the Economic Development Administration, Department of Commerce, and other agencies oftentimes when we're seeking financing for infrastructure projects. So we saw the taxiway project that was listed at the Yuba County Airport. That was funded at an 80% level by EDA through a grant that we wrote and administered with the help of your airport staff as well. So the process, every 5 years, we gather the community, and as Kevin Mallon said, it's broad. It's BL Air Force Base, it's Caltrans, it's all the water districts, fire districts, of course, all the counties and local jurisdictions. And we develop a plan and we set our goals and our priorities. On an annual basis, we go through the exercise with a team of people. If you have the update, the list is extensive of those that participate, including county staff. We go through and we do these check-ins on an annual basis. It allows us to summarize some bigger projects that happen in the individual jurisdictions, but then also any big regional projects that happen. It really is invaluable when we are looking for federal dollars to support projects in and around infrastructure. If we don't have a SEDS, we wouldn't be eligible for some of those funding sources. But because we are good at, number one, making sure we do our SEDS on a 5-year basis, and then doing the annual updates, we get bonus points for that when we're looking for grant money.
What's the due date on this?
So this one is 2020. So in 2024, we'll start planning for the 2025, which will be the big revision.
Okay. So when does this have to be approved?
The project has already been approved. The SEDS was approved in 2020. We're looking for a resolution just to accept the updates today.
When are the updates required?
You should have received them in your packet. Were they in the packet?
Yes. They said there was 6 attachments. I didn't go through all of them.
So if I could, through the chair. So today's action is really for the board to acknowledge that the Yuba-Sutter Economic Development Corporation has gathered up from all of the jurisdictions any updates in the plan. What projects were completed, any progress updates to those projects. So that's really the board's action today, is just to accept the information being presented to you by the Economic Development.
There's no deadline on that acceptance.
No, but it is a requirement in order to be current on our SEDS.
Plus minus 2 weeks won't hurt.
The requirement was March 31st. The update had to be completed, which it was, and it was submitted. What we're seeking from you is a resolution to accept the updates and the evaluation.
Like I said, week or two wouldn't make a difference, would it?
If you're seeking to read more on it, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to bring this back for some discussion that you and I could do. Okay, would that be all right?
It's the chair's prerogative on whether an item is tabled or not, but I just want to make sure it's clear that it's really just the board acknowledging that it's been submitted.
I understand. Okay. Now this is the first time we've had PDFs. We were given a stack on the last year. Is that correct?
We generally present it in the same fashion, as well as you get all of the hard copy.
We didn't give hard copies this year.
This is a summary.
I
They were
understand.
provided it electronically. Is that correct?
Yes.
If you need them printed, we can certainly print them and bring them over.
Okay. All right. I'd like to table this for 2 weeks. Next board meeting. Okay.
Thank you.
The chair has that prerogative unless any other board member has an objection to it, at which point it becomes a vote of the board.
Okay. I'd like to take a close look at this before we approve it. Thank you.
I understand your concern, but I'm all in favor of just moving ahead and approving the resolution.
Okay, it's up to you.
It's not up to me. There's only 3 of us, so we wouldn't have a quorum either way. So
What?
No, it has to be under, I believe it's Government Code 25003 that requires a majority of the board.
Yeah.
So it requires 3 votes. Yeah. To approve an item. So
Require 3 votes?
yeah. Yes, sir. In order to approve an item,
Okay.
it would require 3 votes.
So we're tabling it for 2 weeks.
Okay.
We don't have 3 votes.
Thank you. All right, thank you. All right, Health and Human Services.
Through the chair, I did receive a public comment card before the last presentation, if the board would like to consider it.
Okay.
It is for, excuse me, it's for Hasia Delaney.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for making an accommodation. I usually join these meetings on Zoom and I raise my hand, so I appreciate you allowing me to come up and make comment. I'm just
Bring
here
the
to...
mic closer to you.
Sorry, can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So I'm here to just make comment about First Five. I have received their services. They have connected me with so many community resources. My daughter is 5. She attends Edgewater Elementary now. She's in TK. And because of the support that they provided me when I moved to this community, when I moved here, I knew very little, community members. And I think most of the moms who are introduced to First Five are in the same position. So they don't know where to go to receive resources in our community. And First Five has been tremendous at connecting the local moms to resources, doing developmental screenings for their children, providing them resources that they couldn't otherwise afford, like the water safety classes and helmets for their children while they were riding bikes, like essential things, right? And so I think they're absolutely amazing. And, Andy, I know that you've attended Edgewater Elementary and read to our children this year during their readathon. And I understand how important reading is for children. And based off of my own personal feedback, you had a question about how can we improve students' reading levels in school. I'm also on the school site council at Edgewater Elementary. I'm also an active member of their PTO. And I decipher the data with the school site council and the principal from all of their SBAC scores and such. And I see that our county is suffering in their reading. And early intervention, I believe, is where we can capture those students. If they get that early love for learning, then we can help improve those scores and help improve the funding to the schools. And I believe it's programs like First Five that'll help support that. And I can tell you that they collaborate with so many different organizations. And maybe if we did a partnership with Health and Human Services, we can get more children signed up to the Dolly Parton Imagination Library so we can improve those reading scores and such. But I just wanted to show my support of them. They've been tremendous in my own mental health as a mom, and they've done tremendous things for other moms in the community. I experienced a loss after my first daughter, and they've helped guide me through that. And I hope that they can reach more moms, and I hope that they can receive your support if they come forward with any resolutions in the future. And I yield my time. Thank you.
Thank you very much for speaking out. That's a pamphlet worth of things that we can get to people, and your suggestions on how to reach people would be greatly appreciated. I'm sure First Five will come to the board if they need some help. Hopefully we can find some way to reach out and make a change in the reading habits of the children here.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Item 147, I think. Health and Human Services.
Good morning, Chair and members of the board. I'm Melissa Shaw, Deputy Director in Health and Human Services, Public Health Division. Today, I bring forward for your approval an agreement between Yuba County Health and Human Services and Yuba County Office of Education. Yuba County Office of Education created a Yuba County opioid task force to initiate a collaborative response to the fentanyl epidemic. Members of the task force include representatives from Yuba County Sheriff's Office, healthcare providers, the Yuba County District Attorney's Office, schools, first responders from fire and ambulance entities, in addition to Health and Human Services. The task force identified strategies to increase community awareness about the issue of opioid overdose in Yuba County. Opioid settlement funds from the Department of Healthcare Services would be utilized to support this cross-sector collaboration and allow for the provision of outreach activities to educate students, parents, guardians, teachers, school staff, and the community about the harmful effects of opioid misuse. Yuba County Office of Education will utilize the funding to partner with Arrive Alive California, an organization that provides innovative, evidence-based education and prevention training to schools and communities. The trainings will include education on the signs and symptoms of opioid overdose, responding to an opioid overdose, treatment options, and harm reduction techniques, including but not limited to the safe administration of naloxone, otherwise known as Narcan. In collaboration with Health and Human Services and the District's Attorney's Office, Yuba County Office of Education will also increase overdose awareness among community members by showcasing a fentanyl awareness campaign on local billboards throughout the county, in addition to robust social media campaigns. Health and Human Services has also partnered with Yuba County Office of Education to purchase Narcan kits for school sites and for distribution at community events. In conclusion, I recommend the Board of Supervisors approve the agreement between Yuba County Health and Human Services and Yuba County Office of Education to support the coordination, outreach, and educational presentations to decrease the effects of opioid misuse and overdoses in Yuba County. We're happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board?
No question, but I don't think there's any limit to the preventative stuff that we can do. So thank you.
So is probation involved in this situation also?
Yes, probation
Okay.
is on the task force.
Okay. All right. Any questions from the public? All right. We'll bring back the board for a motion.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Thank you very much for your presentation. All right, the item number 110 has been moved down to public hearings. So we have an item of public interest is next, 173, I think. Is that? Where's our tax collector? He sent you. All right.
Tax Collector's Office. I'm the Treasury and Tax Manager. And we are asking that you approve the secondhand dealer's business license application for Martin Guevara, who will be operating Martin's Thrift and Consignment located at 5543 Marysville Road in Browns Valley. Mr. Guevara is in the audience if you guys have any questions for him. Ordinance code 6.35.080 requires Board of Supervisor approval for him to operate.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
That's only because it's a certain type of business, right?
Yes. Each business license that we issue has varying levels of requirements. So some of them have to be approved just by the Sheriff's Department. Some have to be approved by environmental health or planning. In this case, it's the Sheriff's Department and the Board of Supervisors, and the Sheriff's Department has already approved their portion. And so now that that step is done, it's your turn.
And there are some businesses that require no permit.
Correct. Yeah. There are several types of businesses in Yuba County that require no business license. Walmart, for instance, AM/PM, Burger King, Food Max.
All right. Any further questions from the board? Any questions for the public? We'll bring it back to the board for.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Measure passes.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, I guess we're to ordinance and public hearing, 110, community development.
Well, you gotta read that.
No, that'll have to happen after 109. I would.
Oh, after
you could
109.
take them in order if you wish. That 181 would be the first.
Okay, 181. Mr. Agriculture Commission, Commissioner, hold public hearing, waive the first reading, and introduce an ordinance.
Good morning, Chairman Vasquez, honorable board members, Stephen Scher, Ag Commissioner. I'm here today to introduce an ordinance amending Chapter 7.42 of the Yuba County Ordinance Code prohibiting the cultivation of industrial hemp within the unincorporated area of Yuba County. The proposed ordinance would reinstate the prohibition of growing industrial hemp in Yuba County. We've been prohibiting that by ordinance since 2019, but the current ordinance expired on December 31st or on August 31st last year. So our moratorium on the cultivation of industrial hemp was originally put into place because state and federal regulations were not in place. Since that time, the United States Department of Agriculture has published their final rule for industrial hemp, and California has an approved plan. However, there remain to be many concerns with the production of industrial hemp for local jurisdictions, namely public safety, nuisance complaints, the workload it creates for local departments, and land use issues that arise due to its production. Many counties continue to expend a large amount of general fund revenue to administer the industrial hemp program, and there are no regulatory funding mechanisms for that at this time. Additionally, the counties that are running industrial hemp programs are experiencing widespread violations within their industrial hemp programs, and taking enforcement action is complicated and ineffective at gaining compliance with the rules that exist. Industrial hemp is not shown to be an economically viable crop since it's been grown in California, and interest in its production locally has fallen. My department has only received 2 inquiries about industrial hemp in Yuba County in the past 2 years, and neither of those inquiries were from local farming interests. Adoption of the prohibition on industrial hemp production will mitigate public safety, workload, land use issues, and potential for general fund costs to administer the program. Thank you for consideration. At this point, I would answer any questions you might have.
Any questions from the board?
No, I'm good.
Any questions from the public? All right, so this is a permanent stop on hemp.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Bring it back to the board for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The measure passes. All right, that took care of that. Game set.
Close the public hearing.
Huh? Okay. All right, 125.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. County Administrator ordinance, hold public hearing, waive second reading, and adopt ordinance repealing and reenacting chapters. I'll let you list them.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sean Powers, Assistant County Administrator, back before your board for the second time as a follow-up to our last meeting for the second reading of our comprehensive fee update for our consolidated fee schedule. Just a brief summary again. Some pretty minor and administrative cleanups in the fee schedule, with the most significant changes being out at the airport, that your full board received a presentation on that. So with that, would open up any further questions or comments on what we did at the last board meeting.
All right, any questions from the board?
No.
No? Any questions for the public? Bring it back to the board for a motion to close the public hearing. Do we open the public hearing? We will.
You have now.
Okay. All right, we'll bring it back to the board for closing the public hearing, waive the second reading, and adopt the ordinances.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
All right, motion is.
And it should be a roll call because you're approving, yeah.
You didn't have to list them all out. Roll call.
Supervisor Vasquez,
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer,
Yes.
Supervisor Messick,
Yes.
Supervisors Fuhrer and Bradford are absent. Motion passes.
Okay.
Thank you, Board.
Thank you very much. Item 109, Community Development Services, public hearing, hold public hearing and adopt resolution updating the Community Development Block Grant. So open the public hearing and you run.
All right, through the chair, I'm Kevin Perkins of Community Development. This item has been a long time coming, or these next two items have been a long time coming. I think they actually started in 2017 under our old community development director, Kevin Mallon. So we're near the finish line. It's taken a long time, but this is it. And we have assurances from HCD that if your board approves the next two items, all we have to do is upload them in a system and we should be able off and running with this program in May. So a little bit of background. Before you are guidelines for our owner occupied rehab program, our community development block grant program. This program allows income eligible people who earn 80% or less of the average monthly income for Yuba County, the opportunity to receive funding to improve their properties. So it allowed them to do re-roofs, necessary improvements that would make their homes more energy efficient, safer, et cetera, et cetera. One thing that the program doesn't do is it doesn't allow for luxury improvements such as swimming pools, patio covers, landscaping, the hot tub. They're not going to be able to get those type of items. It's generally safety and health and safety related issues. The guidelines before you were originally adopted in 2020. One of the big changes in 2020 that your board made in these guidelines was moving from loans to grants. And your board put a limit of, I believe, $20,000 on grants to eligible applicants of this program. The two main changes that are before you on the guidelines are one, staff is seeking to raise the limits on the grants from 20,000 to 40,000. The world's changed quite a bit in the last few years, and construction costs have severely increased. And so we want to make sure we have a successful program and that people want to get people that want to get their roofs done still have some money to fix other parts of their homes as well. And the second change in the guidelines or major change in the guidelines is having code enforcement cases have priority in terms of funding and getting those types of projects approved. So what we're seeking to do is if our code enforcement has an active case with a property owner for some sort of substandard housing, we want to be able to get them jump that type of case higher up in the priority so that we can ensure that housing is getting fixed in the county, which was one of the requirements of our housing element when we got approved from HCD was to increase our housing stock and make sure it gets better. So those are the two main changes for item 109, which is the guidelines for our owner occupied rehab program. I'm here to answer any questions your board might have.
Any questions from the board? No. I have a question. How many code enforcement cases could we clear with this?
Well, I can't answer exactly how many we could clear with this, but based off of the amount of money that we have available, which is roughly about 1.8 million to go to the actual improvements. If using, I guess, doing math at 40,000, it's roughly about 42 homes that could get fixed if they maximize. Each home maximizes the full 40,000.
So I'm sure code enforcement officers have little favorite spots that they might be able to.
Yeah, through
that's
between,
a great way to
between code enforcement and an ongoing list that people have been calling, wanting to utilize this program. Some other jurisdictions have this program already in existence. I think we'll be able to be pretty successful rather quickly in implementing this program.
Okay. Any further questions, board? Any questions from the public? Bring it back to the board. I think we didn't do that. No. Close public hearing. And need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Motion?
Second.
And a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Measure passes. And now we can go to 110. Okay.
All right, through the chair, item 110, this item before you is a contract or a sub-recipient agreement between Habitat for Humanity and Yuba County to implement our owner-occupied rehab program. So, I just described the owner-occupied rehab program. One of the things we're seeking to do is utilize Habitat for Humanity to implement the program. So any interested residents of the county would, if your board approves this contract, would end up going to Habitat to get qualified, income qualified. Habitat would go out and do an audit of what repairs need to be done to the house. They would contract out or do the repairs themselves, and then submit all paperwork and documentation to the county. And then we would submit to the state. So this basically is a contract between the subrecipient agreement between the county and Habitat. The agreements for $1,845,000. It's a little misleading. Out of that $1,845,000, $1,670,000 of it is actually going to the residents of Yuba County in the repairs. There's a $20,000 allocation that would, if some of the repairs need the homeowner to leave the house, it would allow them to go to a hotel or something like that for a short period of time. And Habitat would be receiving $155,000 to implement this program for all their time.
Okay.
So I'm here to answer any questions your board might have.
All right. I didn't open the public hearing on here, but we'll go ahead and do that. And yes.
This one didn't start.
This one.
Okay. All right. Any questions, board?
No, I assume Habitat's really the only logical agency that could handle this, right?
Yeah, one thing through the chair, one thing I did forget to mention is Habitat's already operating this type of program for the city of Yuba City, the city of Marysville, city of Colusa, Butte County, Gridley. So they've been a good partner in the community on being able to operate this type of program. CSA staff doesn't have the time or resources really to operate a program of this magnitude.
Thanks. Okay. All right. Any questions from the public? Bring it back to the board. Close.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Second. Motion to approve. Second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right.
Before I leave, I do want to thank CDSA staff. This was a really collaborative effort. Our housing manager, Amanda Stoltz, put a lot of time in this. Our CDBG program manager, Karma Ferguson, did as well. And so did Jeremy Strang from Code Enforcement in making sure that this program's off and running, as well as the heroes in County Counsel's office.
More lawyers.
Thank you guys so much. I think this is a really great program for our community.
Okay. All right. That being said, we're at board and staff member reports. Supervisor Blazer.
It's been an inspirational meeting today.
There you go.
I think it's just another good example of the closeness of the county. And when you see all these people in the room, it is inspirational. So I appreciated all that. Just a quick Ellis Lake update. It is not dead.
Hold on, I'm sitting down.
No, we have a meeting next week with the city. And I think coming out of that, hopefully, is some good progress on the cost of the source of water coming into the lake. So that's the goal for next week. So we will keep you informed.
I think the buzzwords are drain it, clean it, fill it. Okay.
Well, I just
Mr. Messick.
made me maybe a marketing deal for you. Fill it up with salt, and the market is the Dead Lake, so the Dead Sea. I didn't have time to write myself notes of what I've been doing the last 2 weeks. I was working on a tractor till almost midnight last night, so a little bit tired. But this meeting, very glad that I didn't go to cap and miss this meeting. I just recognize Supervisors Bradford and Fear for being back at cap, representing the county. Very emotional meeting for me. So just a great job by all the presenters.
It was amazing the number of people that we had in here and the number of heroes that are in our community, and the unspoken ones don't need accolades. They just do it. All right. I have nothing, Kevin.
Oh, can I make one more comment? I will be at Pioneer Days Saturday in Smartsville. I'd like to invite everybody up. So if you haven't attended before, very worthwhile event. Went last year and very interesting. In fact, I had to drag my kids there, and then they didn't want to leave. I had to drag them home.
Yeah. Do we get to wear a holster? And
yeah, I think you can. There's a lot of, the kids got to make arrowheads and just a lot of really neat things going on up there.
Okay, I forgot one thing is the memorial adjournment for Bill Harper, Yuba County Supervisor from 1985 through January 1997, passed away April 17th, 2023. Good?
Yes, just a couple quick things, Board. So the presentations, I'm glad the Board is receptive to, well, the presentation today especially, or the presentations today, but we'll keep them coming. There's plenty of great things happening in this county, and it's a good opportunity to highlight them at each of the board meetings. And so we definitely have a theme for this year, and thank you, Chair, for allowing us to pack the agendas with special presentations.
Appreciated by all the participants. We're doing 8,000 person county. We're setting the standard. People won't realize that we're the fourth largest county per capita last year.
It wasn't intentional, but it was great to have CSAC here and then see a full board chamber. People are paying attention in Yuba County, right? So just a couple quick things. Wanted to let the board know we have a kind of a first draft on a Board of Supervisor facsimile policy that County Council has put together. I was conferring with Council, and this first draft is focused on. This is the rubber stamp policy. That's our also known as, and it's narrowly written right now on written documents that you would physically put a rubber stamp on. Currently, it doesn't address electronic signatures, and that's something that. And I'm not sure if we want to wait until the next board meeting to get consensus on this or not. But whether or not we want to expand it. Well, a consensus on whether or not we expand it to also include electronic signature, or is it just a physical rubber stamp, paper document only policy? So that's something for the three of you to noodle on, and we can revisit it at the next board meeting. But that's I just wanted to let the board know that there is action on that front. The other one that I wanted to make sure the board was aware of, and I believe you all received an email from Marysville Joint Unified School District. They sent a call to action, so council, just so you have a copy of it there, and it's asking for community members support the school district as they try to address mental health issues at their schools, and so it has. It's as individuals that are asking for signatures. So I believe all 5 board members were listed, along with myself, the sheriff, there's a list of county staff that they're asking for support from. I did reach out and ask that Sutter Yuba Behavioral Health, because they weren't on the list, since that's right in their lane, that they reach out to the school district and participate as well. But it is definitely an issue with the schools right now, and they're just looking. Yes. I'll make sure. I was under the impression that all 5 board members have been emailed directly by the school district on that, but I'll make sure to forward that on to the board members. Yes. So it might have been buried in there. And then lastly, there was also some email traffic to the board related to the ultralight aircraft issue out at the airport. So the board may recall that's an issue where we had safety concerns. The airport manager implemented kind of in consultation with the FAA, a prohibition of the use of those type of aircraft at the airport. And so now that issue, we're going to be revisiting it based on the letter we received from the FAA to frankly see whether, we're going to need to do an analysis in concert with the FAA to see if there is a viable location for the use. The airport managers here, if the board has any questions on that, but the airport manager is working closely with council on that issue. And there was more than one email, I believe, on that front in the last week. And so I just wanted to make sure the board was aware of that.
I think that unless they make a change to the airspace, that ultralights are not allowed in.
Well, so apparently they are allowed in the airspace if they call and get clearance from NorCal.
Okay.
So they have to call every time, I guess, before they take off.
Based upon prior behavior, I'm not really too confident that they can do that.
I had a question too on that, Kevin. I got a call over the weekend that the power parachute, one of them at least, went out and actually mowed the field, which is county property, and then went out the next day and aired up the parachute, didn't take off, put it away. But is it allowed for any citizen to go out and are we liable if they get injured or something on county property where they're out there mowing it and without permission?
If there's a dangerous condition of the property and we have notice of that dangerous condition, then there is potential for liability, yes.
I believe the question though was the private individual on county property doing mowing.
Allow that
that's
on road
we don't allow it. The great state of California determined decades ago that even a trespasser, if there is a dangerous condition on the property and the property owner has notice of it and the trespasser is injured, they can still recover. I think the case involved a burglar that was on a roof of a building and fell through the roof and was still allowed to recover because the roof was in a defective condition.
Did they notify the airport manager that they were going to mow the
I don't know the details of this particular incident, but we'll work with Jason to find out what's going on in my office. So consult with him and we'll deal with it.
Okay.
I have a suggestion. Let's plant sunflower seeds on that property. That's all I got.
All right, that's all I had.
That's
Just wanted to.
County Council, anything else?
Yeah, one thing, earlier I cited the government code section 35003. That's what I get for going off the top of my head. It should have been 25005. So just so the record's clear.
Okay. Young lady? Okay. All right, that being said, this meeting is adjourned.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yep.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.